These creatures submerged me, or maybe I entered a trance. I couldn't tell, but all I know is that I was in the water. I didn't feel myself breathing. I was taken from whence I was through a city under the water. These words can't best describe what my eyes saw, a whole city in the water. Cars were moving, crystal-like houses were erected, and these creatures appeared like humans in the water. It was an entirely different world from what I was used to on the surface. I was fearful, but my heart wasn't pounding. It was as if I was soulless. Am I dead? I wondered. You're not dead, Chokujeku, one of the creatures escorting me said, as if it could hear my mind. We are taking you to see the Queen Mother, for your journey is only about to begin. There was no time to wonder what her statement meant, as I noticed everyone in the city stared as if they hadn't seen someone or something like me before. Finally, we arrived at a giant gate boldly written, Helheim, Lake of the Damned. Two creatures stood sentry side by side at the gate. They had multiple eyes protruding from their stomach, and they wielded heavy stones that had Latin inscriptions on them. I may not know the meaning of the word on the gate, but I knew the first 4 letters, and the Lake of the Damned inscription spelled doom. I fought hard not to be taken into this gate, but it was effortless, as they seamlessly took me inside and dumped me in a lonely courtyard. I tried to weep, but tears weren't forthcoming. Chokujeku Ojemba, a loud eerie female voice, called out my name. Do you know where you stand? It asked. I looked around but couldn't see where the voice came from. Imoro M, I answered in Igbo. Suddenly, I heard a thud behind me, and I turned to behold a giant serpent curled up looking at me. I slowly tried to back away but couldn't. I watched as something spawned out of the serpent and took the shape of a voluptuous woman. She levitated towards me. She was quite attractive, but her beauty didn't deter me from the thoughts that she has every tendency to be dangerous. You're in the 13th realm of existence, the realm of the spirits, the woman said as she circled me before going back to where the serpent curled and caressed its head before saying, This is my beautiful boy, the Leviathan, and I am Nimue, the Queen of the Damned. I was drenched in fear. I've read books and stories of the 13th realm of the spirits, and here I was, in it with no way home. I couldn't utter a word, only but stare and listen. Do you know why you're here? She asked me, and I answered with silence, which amused her. You were wont to remove all your jewelry, but you were too adamant. You humans like to say the stubborn fly goes into the grave with the corpse, the queen said as she slowly started levitating towards me. My lips finally opened, and I started declaring the blood of Jesus to save me. She laughed hard. Your God cannot save you here, Chokujeku, she said with a smug on her face. Submit your soul to my master and I will take you home. I could see the fangs in her mouth. It was razor sharp, dreadful, and soaked in blood. Particles of flesh dripped from the fangs, and slowly her once beautiful face started to transmogrify into a decayed corpse. The Leviathan let out a loud hiss and started crawling toward me. I felt sick to my stomach as I continued declaring the blood of Jesus. Suddenly, a bright light flashed in my face and whoosh. I felt like I was in a dream, and I could hear a voice trying to call me back to reality. I felt my spirit enter my body again as I whizzed and woke up to a man administering CPR on me. I coughed out water and a fish. Choku Dalu, the man said. He was dressed like a fisherman with a thatched hat on his head. He was happy to see me awake. I looked around and I was lying down inside a canoe. Beside me was my biggest shock. The necklace I had earlier flung into the water was there beside me. With alacrity, I flung the necklace out. I could hear crickets chirping as we emerged from the canoe. Who are you? You don't look like you're from this village, the fisherman asked me. I'm not from here. I came from the east to fetch crayfish, but I fell into the water. I must have drowned, I explained to him. You were floating on the water when I saw you. I was about to head back home when I saw your body out on the water, the fisherman said. These waters are known to be infested by foul spirits when the sun goes down. We must leave here at once. We hurriedly left the waterside back to the fisherman's place. When we got to his place, I saw the time and it was 5:30 a.m. This meant that whatever experience I was trapped in lasted several hours, from dusk to dawn. After all was said and done, I found my way back to the east to meet my biggest surprise. The necklace once again found its way to the doorstep of my house.